You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit, and today we're back on the road with Night Demon on their second leg of the Outsider European Tour. The band and the crew sat down to tell their behind-the-scenes stories, and this week we pick it up with the final night of Keep It True Rising. This is Night Demon on the road.
So the Cirith Ungol night, man, like we were kind of waiting around 2 days for this whole thing. We did do a photo shoot that day also for Decibel magazine. Nicholas is also a photographer and also a potential political candidate, and he owns a merch company, a van rental company. He's a festival promoter. He's
just the best at everything.
Yeah, really. He's the best.
Yeah,
he's
the best.
Yeah,
the best.
Yeah,
best.
But he took these photos for us, and if anybody wants to see the December issue of Decibel magazine, we're on the cover. Cirith Ungol's on the cover.
It so happened that the biggest backline rental place in Europe or something, or so Nicholas says, is next door to the venue, and he knows the guys in there, so he got access. So he's had pictures in front of some pretty cool.
Yeah, Rob Garvin, just his fantasy was to take pictures in front of road cases, to make it look like classic, like, the band's on these big tours, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? And, it's... The thing, though, is, you go there and, the road cases are stenciled with, Eskimo Callboy, band logo, It's they don't say Cirith Ungol. They know they're praying skeletons, So we made some stuff work. But anyway, it made the cover of Decibel's 2024 December issue. And me and Armand are on the cover. We were kind of hesitant about that just because, the original guys in the band, are not us, and but the band really wanted us in on it, and so did the magazine. And of course, as soon as it came out, we got all the backlash, social media comments, Night Demon guy kicked out the OG guitar player to get his friend in, just all this stuff, this is a joke, right? But that's how it goes, right? Nobody knows the real story. But the show itself, a lot of anticipation for it. The final appearance of Cirith Ungol in Europe, for now, I would say. I mean, we probably need some redemption because the show did not go well at all.
A lot of technical issues.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. We had done we got in early that day and set up, or it was still... Our in-ear monitor thing was still set up from the day before, so we're great, easy, no reason to get in there early.
Exact same gear. We
set all this stuff up that's going to get moved all during the day and everything. So, but first thing that happens is that we get up there, and the in-ear thing is just like, it was just like nothing. Nothing was working. Like I was getting nothing in my ears. I couldn't hear anything. So I was like scurrying around trying to figure out what the hell happened with that. Everything was still patched right? I mean, I don't know if it was an interference problem. Was it just my pack that
It was just your pack. Yeah, your mix was good because I was listening to your mix in my pack. It was working fine, and I gave you my ears.
Yeah,
eventually like my pocket, like.
And it was one of those things that was like pissing me off. So it's like playing harder and like really fucking like digging in, and then my guitar started cutting out, and then it was like that was happening too. Like my guitar signal would just like drop for like
So after we fixed the in-ears, it turned out it was the actual pack. For no reason, it was silent. I turned it on and off. I resynced it. I did all the technical, things, troubleshooting you're supposed to do. It was just that. And so you ended up playing with my pack. You just kept, went on.
Yeah. Different
about the
unit.
show with my cheap Chinese low quality pack, but that did the job, got the job done. And then the song after that, your guitar started cutting out, like really bad, and we thought about, all right, it's probably wireless again, like wireless interference. And then I realized, wait a minute.
Yeah, we swapped it out. We went to a cable.
Yeah.
We did all that. Then it kept happening again, over and over again. And that's when it kind of like started really getting to me and fucking me up, because, I mean, there were big gaps in like certain, like right when I'm going to go, it's like gone. I'm like, fuck, and people could see that I was playing it. It wasn't me. I wasn't fucking it up, but yeah. And then I don't know how do we finally realize it was the amp?
Well, we tried at the point. I mean, it was not RF because we were going like straight to like cable. So cable is like the safest bet. Like if it's still cutting out, it's got to be either the pedal board or the amp. But I just happened to like check the amp, and the amp was like scorching hot. Was like really, really hot, hotter than an amp is supposed to be ever, even a tube amp. So I was like, well, I'm glad we have a backup. Yeah. So I plugged in the backup, and one of those parts we're not playing, and it.
But that was already. I mean, how many songs?
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the start of the show. We come out with Atom Smasher, and I'm trying to rock out, and I step on one of the monitors, and I fell backwards right on my back, and it all of a sudden I can't hear anything.
Oh, I forgot about.
So
so many things to do
too.
All right, here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. Rob is all pumped before the show. We're backstage, and he's like, let's go. And Tim's doing his normal thing. Normally before the show, at least an hour before the show, Tim does this weird thing where he just sits still, and he kind of has his eyes closed. Not that he's like focusing on anything. He kind of looks like he's like about ready for bed, and he doesn't want to be there. And like if you talk to him, he's just like, yeah, whatever, man. And I could tell that's just nerves. You know what I mean? But I said something like, because we were just burnt out, and I was like, hey, I'm just going to hang out backstage and lay down on this couch and play the show tonight, if you don't mind. I got my wireless, I don't need to be on the stage. I was making a joke, and Rob said, are you going to lay down on the stage and play like Pete Way from UFO? Pete Way used to do that. Like, he'd rock out, and then he'd lay down on the stage and play while he was laying on his back. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I was making a joke. Sure enough, I ended up on my back. The first song, it fucking hurt, too. And I all of a sudden I can't hear anything, and so, but I don't want to stop playing. So instead of getting up, I finished the song on my back, Pete Way style, and then got up, and then realized I went over to Joel. I go, I can't hear anything, and the cable from my in-ears had actually severed, had broken. When I fell down, it ripped. So he had to run to the backstage to my backpack and get a separate cable. Luckily, I had bought one. That's not something you normally have. And they're all proprietary, so it's not like I could just get one in Germany. So we changed that out, and then that happened to work,
That worked, yeah.
But it's just it's a bad way to start a show. And then I committed the cardinal sin. Like, while we were dealing with technical difficulties, Tim mentioned he thanked the guys from Night Demon for being there. And on stage and like basically said like, without these guys, like we can't even do the band. And then some guy said like, Night Demon fucking sucks or something like that. And then I did a whole Gene Simmons, who said that? Kind of like, or fuck you, like trying to point the guy out and like, cause I was ready to just like, I didn't want to hear that. And I broke the fourth wall and I was ready to kick this guy's ass.
Well, it was like on top of all this bullshit we were already dealing with on stage. Then it's like, you got to have that, it's just like, Jesus Christ, what's next? Like, it was just a real like mood killer, even though people were like kind of backing it, you could tell like backing us up. And I don't know if there was a little scuffle in the crowd, like people
there was
were like
something
we were kind of like pointing the guy out, like go get him, or like
it just reminds me like there's the Kiss laser pointer video, Nesbitt Q Kiss laser pointer video.
Yeah. Who's got the laser over here? The one with the white t-shirt, right? If you bring the laser out one more time, listen to me. Hey, schmuck, put it in your pocket or I'll put it up your ass, okay? Now the rest of you, have you had a good time tonight?
There's the fucking classic one where with Iron Maiden, I think somebody's calling out Blaze Bayley and the whole band and him and Steve Harris on the front of the stage like fucking flipping this guy off to stop the song and like pointing this guy out,
I fucking told you! I fucking told you! Right, I fucking told you! Can you see who he fucking is? Get him! Fucking get him! Can you see him? Can you see? Kill him! Fucking get him! He's the fuck of the skinner there! Fucking kill him! Hey, come on! I'm fucking killing myself! Fuck off! Fuck off! You fucking motherfucker!
I don't know.
You looked so furious, and because I'm way back.
That was like the death stare.
But you were doing something to this guy that was like, "I'll see you after," and you looked so furious. It was the point that, like, right after the show, I saw Sebastian, who's our mate. He's a photographer, but he's a huge, big guy too. And I'm like, Sebastian, I have to pack up. If you see Jarvis going for a guy, can you please intervene? Haul him back.
Yeah, the guy was an idiot. I remember when I was after Night Demon played the day before, we're just packing up, and the guy everybody cleared the room except for that one guy.
Yeah.
With a fucking extreme thick Italian accent, just saying just yelling and just saying
yelling, asking for pigs and
fix it.
And then if we asked from some German guy something and they didn't reply, start, hey Adolf.
Yeah, it's just this fucking this idiot, total idiot. And then I recognized him. And then Jarvis was losing his shit with this idiot. I was like, dude, it's not worth it. It's just a fucking idiot.
And look, we've had moments in small towns in Mexico where the one time I got electrocuted and stopped the show because it wasn't safe. A guy talking shit, and I talked shit back to him, and we had to stay in the backstage for 3 hours because he had a gun and he was waiting for us. We've had moments where the Fight Demon incident in Vancouver where the guy was talking shit and I told him to come up and say it, and there was a fight on stage, I should know about these things. And Brian's been looking a lot lately. He's the guy who, He's the one who tells us about everything that's going on in the world of music and what people are saying about us. He monitors that shit more closely. And I think you just got to if you're going to take the good, you got to take the bad. You know what I mean? You can't have one or the other. There's both exists. And while there's mostly positive reviews about what we're doing, there's an old saying that, it's a fact, not an opinion, that success breeds haters. So if people are talking about you in a negative way and they're going out of their way to do it, whether it's on a video blog or a Facebook post or a Facebook comment or in the audience, if you don't mean anything and you have zero importance, nobody would say anything because there's no reference point there, right? So I guess that if the more successful you become, there are going to be detractors, and that's okay. The shit's not for everybody. There's tons of stuff that we all don't like. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of stuff. I would say the majority of music in the world we don't like.
Yeah.
You know, right?
And I feel like maybe, everything else that led up to that might have also enhanced like the
on
fucking,
my part for sure.
You know what I
Little
mean?
bit
Like I feel like if the
Yeah.
show was going really well and like
Yeah.
maybe that guy wouldn't have even said anything anyway, you know?
Yeah. But just to avoid all that stuff, I did ask Tim, like, look, man, I know what you're trying to do. We appreciate it, but you don't need to bring us up ever on stage or, if you're doing a candid interview with somebody and you want to tell the truth about what our value is to Cirith Ungol, then that's okay. I appreciate that. But we're going to get all the hate anyway, and it makes me think a lot. It makes me respect artists a hell of a lot more. The things that we think about certain people are probably completely wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole anything. Take a shot at the biggest bands in the world, the Metallicas, the Iron Maidens, Judas Priest, all this stuff that you think, or all the stuff that people spread online, that this guy is doing this, or here are his motives for doing this or that. Like with Lars, look at the whole Napster thing. Like he was totally right, man. He was completely right, and nobody wanted to listen, and they thought about him as being greedy and all this, and that's not the case at all. And our entire industry has fallen on its knees because of that, and they wanted to finger point and blame this guy, and he was completely right. He was completely right about defending an artist's work and intellectual property. Had nothing to do with money, but now it has everything to do with money.
Because there is no money.
That's it. Because it's made music like. It's like a valueless commodity now, So, anyway, that's another thing I didn't handle too well. But I am glad I didn't fight the guy. Even after the show, I still had something I was kind of looking for.
Yeah, I remember being out there just kind of looking around.
Say something to me. I had a empty bottle in my hand, and I was like waiting for this guy to come up to me. I was going to smash this bottle on his face. Glad I didn't do that. Instead, I just went and counted the merchandise money, which was insanely good. And that guy left with he spent money to be there.
And it was probably hungover and feeling like shit the next day, and nobody wanted to be his friend. So you know what I mean.
It sucked.
But I think after all that, it kind of picked up, and we finished the show out okay. But I mean, it was definitely I was beat down. I was drained and like, geez, man, it really was tough.
Yeah, it was really a bummer for all of us because
you almost broke your guitar. I remember. You came like off stage, like all pissed, like fuck this guitar. He just like threw the guitar into the guitar boat. It almost didn't hit, didn't land in on the guitar boat, like on the side. And I was like, dude, what are you doing?
I know this poor guy, like he's getting it from all sides. We're all yelling at him, like, my thing doesn't work. No, my thing doesn't work. Come fix my shit. Fix my shit. What the fuck? And like, you were running around like a fucking crazy person because. Normally, we don't need much, we're pretty, self-sufficient.
I want to say that at some point, the vocal mic, he pulled the cord out. Was that show?
Maybe.
I think that happened, too.
Or the power, maybe unplug the fucking...
The pedal, the
pedal or something like that, yeah.
Dude, at that point, I was like, whatever happens, I don't, just make it all happen, now, because we're already, in the...
There's another old theory with bands that, if you have a great rehearsal before the big show, your show is gonna suck. And that I've seen that be true. Yeah, I've experienced that.
And actually for me too, if I have, sometimes we're just late for the show, we just show up and set up and play the show in a second and everything is perfect. Sometimes you show up really early, you have all the time in the world to mess with the guitars, mess with the equipment, everything, all the time in the world, and then everything
I mean,
just goes south,
all good. But look, if you want to say, all right, Night Demon's one thing, but with Ungol, the Linz show, which was the show before, was amazing.
I know.
We played fucking perfect, So there you go.
But I think also, this being Cirith Ungol's final European performance, since it's been just Armand and I backing them up this last year, they've changed their mind and not really wanted to retire because things are so easy now. And we're playing better than ever, and it's fun for them. So I think it's probably a good reason that this show was so terrible because they don't want to go out on that note. So now it's a thing of like, okay, well, we have to go back to Europe now and do something eventually with these guys, right? So I think that's a good enough reason. If it was like the perfect show, I might think like, hey, what a good way to go out on top, you know? But as it stands, you know, we've told the festival, like, destroy the video, destroy the audio, or like just it's in our possession only. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're not granted any rights to share this or distribute this and under any means. You know, this is not the way to go. You know, so. But yeah, you know, that was it, and we were in cold Germany. The weather reflected how we felt that night. And yeah, so this was the end of Cirith Ungol's month in Europe, and then we were on to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shows in a row with no days off, just traveling through Europe there.
Traveling with Traveler.
So Outsider headlining tour part 3, technically, or part 2 of 2.
Part 2 of 2.
The great finale.
Hey guys, Nesbitt here. If you would like to support Night Demon and this podcast, the best way to do it is to become a Night Demon subscriber. Not only will you be doing your part to support a true heavy metal band out there really living it, you'll also gain access to a ton of extras. Bonus audio content, a subscriber-only merch store with rare items from the band's archives. You can stream never-before-heard demos and unearth live concerts from the live vaults. Communicate with the other Night Demon diehards on an exclusive subscriber forum, and gain early access to all press releases, album pre-orders, new merchandise, and a ton more. And another thing that I think is pretty cool is Night Demon will be donating 10% of every subscription fee to the Metal Cares Foundation, which is a charitable fund the band started in 2014 to aid those in our metal community. So head over to nightdemon.net/subscriber and join us as we make heavy metal history together as one. And on a side note, I'll personally think you're a grade A badass.
So this time we had another Canadian band with us.
Yeah, not Riot City. We had Traveler, who was awesome and really a joy to be around.
Yeah,
we had known those guys for a while, and it was good to have them out.
Show, so we left the next day, right? Pretty much. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a straight. Yeah, we had a show right after that Cirith Ungol night, which I think was Saturday, right? So we had a show Sunday in Selb.
Selb.
No, I think it was Saturday.
No, it was Saturday.
Yeah.
The
Selb show was Saturday.
Oh yeah, because we played Thursday was a pre-party, and then Friday,
right.
Ungol, cool. So Saturday in Selb.
In a tiny little club.
Yeah.
Tiny little wood-paneled sauna club.
Yeah.
One of those, yeah. Where in Germany is it?
So
it's close to
all the Germans
it's
kept
close to
where
the
is that too?
Czech Republic border, right? Yeah. And it was just it was a cool right?
Still Bavaria?
No. It's East Germany.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice venue actually.
Mm-hmm.
It was small but sounded good. Like it was cold. I remember it was cold, but
it was definitely
and
cold.
Merch was,
merch was outside.
Area, which is like a tent. So
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I remember. Yeah, because we pulled in and it was like looked like a hunter's lodge or something.
Yeah.
It was kind of in the middle of like fields and stuff.
Yeah,
There wasn't-
it was pretty much sold out show.
Yeah.
It was sold out show, but it was a pretty small place. But it was cool. Good vibes with the Traveler guys right away.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and we were able to bring our production into another small place, which I always think is so fucking cool. You know,
It is.
we kind of have a setup now where it's like even on a big stage it looks good, but on a small stage it's like, wow, this is like a couple small pieces that really bring the place to life. Oh god, I remember. We filled this place with smoke, man. I mean, it was like
That was awesome.
It was just yeah. We after Traveler played, they did a really good set, and we went out and did our thing. No real issues during this show. Oh, one thing that we did do is like, so we always have to look at every stage before we play to see where are we coming on and off, and like we leave the stage at points during the set when we do intros and samples and stuff like this to keep the show going, but also so we're not just standing up there like a bunch of jackasses. Gives us time to drink some water, towel down a minute, or tune, something like this. And so we're like, there's no place to go here. You have to walk through the bar to get to the backstage. It's too far. So we had one of our small backdrops, and we just, Joel set up
Two mic stands.
Two mic stands and that.
It's actually the screams, like the design, with the
Yeah, it was
right?
the same design, but
It was even supposed to be there,
Right. No, it was there by accident. And so it was the first backdrop, the first banner that Night Demon ever had when we first started. And I brought it to Europe on an earlier tour because we didn't have the small backdrop. Was Brian had left in Florida or in Atlanta, and so I said, well, we need something for this small club show. So I brought that. I just gently took it off the wall. By the way, side note, since we're home for a day, we need to leave that here. But it's kind of like, it's a piece of history, for us. And we've lost backdrops before in Europe, and it's been heartbreaking to not have those. They're like handmade. They're great. Anyway, though, it was cool. So we used this for like a side stage curtain, and it had the Night Demon logo. And
so I could have my Guitar World there.
Oh, it was amazing.
And,
it was
good.
It was super cool. Super cool. Yeah, show went great. Afterwards, they had like, we were like, okay, let's go out to the merch because people are going to come out there and start buying stuff. But everybody was staying in the venue, and there was like an announcement. And it turned out that they were doing a raffle for tickets for a show for a local band that was coming in a week or so. But the freaking, because at first I go, is this stand-up comedy? And then I thought, Germans don't have stand-up comedy. Like, do they really? And then, but the
very underground.
Because the raffle was like 30 minutes.
All in German, so I had no clue
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Are they giving away tickets to every single audience member? You know? And I finally saw this guy had these raffle tickets, so I go, oh, okay, I see what's going on. But it was just kind of, all right, what's happening here? They should have done it
moment
between bands or something. But anyway, it was cool just meeting a bunch of people there that, meeting some new people. Some people we'd seen for a long time, but a lot of new people, that have been following the band. It's not really an area that we go to a lot.
It was the first time
ever. Yeah. Right? And this was also like, when we talk about the previous run a couple months before, like the attendances, they were good, but it just didn't feel like they were very strong. So to start off this way with a sold out show, even in a small place, we were just kind of like, okay, this is good, man. This is a good sign. Things are starting well. It's selling out in a place that we've never been. all well and good, right?
Yeah, and I remember at the end of the show, a guy came to me and said, I drove like 7 hours to be here to see the show.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and I think also we were in a weird mode where we were like, I hate to say this, but I'll be honest, we were not focused on what shows we're doing. We were just on autopilot going, okay, we have 8 shows in a row. We know this set. We've been doing it now for a year and a half. Like, let's just go out and do what we got to do and execute this and get through these. And we're kind of on autopilot. We were just planning the King Diamond tour, that like we were planning logistics all day, every day about what else needed to be done for this next tour coming up. You know, we all had a lot going on with this. In the meantime, we're traveling every day and playing a headlining show, you know, and just kind of, not that we didn't care, but our focus was not on that. So what that did, I think mentally, is it made us like pleasantly surprised and very happy every night that we would go play to a packed house, when we were kind of just going, look, we agreed to do these shows. We've been doing the same show for a while. There's no pressure here or anything like that. And let's hope people show up, and let's go out and just do what we got to do. And it actually turned out to be like, I think, you know, I mean, we could talk more about, obviously, about each show, but I think every show turned out to be worth doing, you know.
Well, that's it for this week and Night Demon on the road. As always, I'll mention the subscriber section on nightdemon.net, where you can listen to the full live audio of the show mentioned in today's episode, as well as hundreds of live audio clips. There's full shows, audio and video, just a ton of bonus content, and all of that at nightdemon.net. Check out the website on details on how you can become a Night Demon subscriber and gain access. Until next time, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host the Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time, all the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.